change. Like being bullied as a man, being shamed, it's a good thing. And it tells people that, hey, maybe I need to change. Like being very natural response to inadequacy, and it tells people that, hey, maybe I need to change. Like being bullied as a man, being shamed, it's a good thing because it stimulates you to change and make a better difference most of the time.
But some people don't respond. Like some people, when they get shamed, they get shut down, and now they proceed further into that negative, behavior because it's not something, as Zach and everybody else was mentioning, was positive to bridge that gap.
That's a part of the masculine journey, is overcoming adversity.
It's not a talk of masculinity, bro. It's just like
being a pussy and being like, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. And this is the thing, it makes or breaks you. Not everyone's going to win. We need winners and we need losers. The losers are the ones that shut down like, oh, I'm sad now. I'm going to continue eating ice cream. Okay, you're a fucking loser. Stay over there. But there's guys that rise up to the challenge and say, you know what? I'm going to do better. I'm going to fucking surpass you. And that's where guys need to be. You need that killer instinct where you use that as fuel. It's up to you how you want to do it.
Isn't the goal of the fitness
This dude
industry
talk like
to
a
get
military
people more
dude.
fit?
Of course.
That's the blanket goal.
Of course.
And we're saying shame and calling me a piece of shit doesn't motivate me to get more fit.
work.
Well, we need winners and losers.
I understand.
No,
first.
we need winners and losers.
The industry
Like
is
there's
the
going to be
one
inevitably
catering
there's
to
going to
the
be
people,
losers. If you
correct?
don't respond favorably to shame
sound
and bullying,
so
etc.,
soft.
and you don't overcome it, you're effectively a loser.
Let's be clear
Yes.
though. You just said the
You are.
right word, fitness industry. It is a industry.
Yeah.
It is to make money. It's not necessarily to get people into shape, it's to make money. So sure, there's gonna be junctions along the way. Like I'm a coach, there has to be tough love. Like if you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing, I have to be a little bit harder on you. But that's not gonna start your journey, me being like, you're a fat piece of shit. Whereas like, if we get into it and we're 3 months in and you're not making progress because there's a lot of things you're not doing that we're coaching you on, then of course there's gonna be some tough love, there's gonna be some extra accountability, but I think there's a difference between accountability and tough love than just like shaming somebody into doing something, because that's not gonna create that like long-term ability to obviously achieve it on their own.
But Myron would prefer, you would prefer shame.
Shaming is a component to get people to be accountable.
We all just want to know
situation.
when shame motivated you to be better.
Me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm speaking in general here as
No,
far
I know,
as like
but don't
shame
speak
working,
general,
but
speak for yourself, personally. When
see-
did shame change your life?
oh, well, here's the thing. I think every man growing up has been shamed to some degree where they're like, you know what, I need to improve this. Whether they grew up
No,
skinny.
You though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was skinny, right? And then I got picked on. And I was like, okay, I'm either gonna let this define me or I'm gonna overcome. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym and start training.
But does it work in any other interpersonal relationship? Like, have your parents ever shamed you, come down on you, made you feel like shit?
Absolutely.
But did
and
you
I thank them
deserve
for it.
all of it,
No,
100% of it?
Absolutely, they shame me, and I think that's fantastic. And I think that's a part of your parent's job is to shame you for your fuck ups.
What about people in abusive relationships or with abusive
That's
parents or
true.
now in no contact situations or anything like
You
that?
pause
Not me.
that
I
right
love my
there.
folks.
Look, that's true, right? Okay, I really understand what he's saying, right? Because you see, my mom, if I'm doing bad in school, she'd be like, "You fucking dumbass nigga, you gonna be in the fucking same grade as them other kids," and they gonna be like, "Oh, my name's Henry." They gonna be like, "Oh, Henry, look at him, he failed. Everybody about to laugh at you when you see that shit makes you feel bad." But then she ain't doing anything to me because it's all my grade on its own. You see that? So yeah, people just gotta realize that shit and realize that it's just them doing all of that stuff. I got carried away, got a distraction. And my mom was just calling me actually. But yeah, speaking of the devil.
They're great,
Yeah.
but like just for the TV record,
Yeah.
in case they watch it, like. But I know a lot of people who
There's
are
always
on
a
like
line.
no
There's
contact.
always a line. But
So that's all I'm saying is in the in the fitness world, I would rather be with someone who's trying to uplift me, trying to get me to improve, hold me accountable. Tough love, absolutely, I think is important.
Yeah.
There's a total difference between tough love and shame.
Absolutely.
shame is a component of tough love.
Shame is only done with the intent to hurt somebody, not to uplift them.
We got to
I don't think
reset.
so.
You gotta reset. That's fine.
I would not like to be on the other side. If that's true for you, come forward.
All the fit people are gonna come over. Who wants to be fat?
I'm very medium on
See?
this.
When I was in high school, they do your graduation photos, and they had a saying, and my saying was, my worst nightmare would be if I gained 10 pounds of fat. Literally, grade 12, I remember it clear as day. I was already a competitive bodybuilder. And so to imagine being 100 or 200 pounds overweight when I strived my whole life to look kind of like this, I just couldn't imagine it. It would be a nightmare for me.
I agree. From like a health perspective, like being overweight or obese like, puts you at a higher risk of developing chronic illnesses, and I think I wouldn't want to be in that position. And if I was in that position, I would do what I can in order to get to a healthier weight.
Okay, so I just want to make sure everyone gets to say their piece before I go. I mean, yeah, it's completely unacceptable to be fat as a man, man. It's completely unacceptable. It's just so many problems with it. I've been fat, I've been skinny, and I've been in shape, and I will pick being in shape every single time. Just like if you have someone that's rich versus someone that's poor, they will pick being rich every single time. And the thing is that most fat people, not all, but most, have never even seen their abs. They've never seen what their body is capable of. They've never been actually happy with their physique. And once you get that taste, you're never gonna wanna go back. And then on top of that, you're gonna wanna go ahead and tell all those fat asses that you were once friends with, you need to.
Bro, I need to listen to this nigga some more, right? Because see, I used to be 130, but see, when I was skinny, I never really thought about it. To me, I looked fine because I was always skinny, but I was pretty extremely toned. I always had a six pack and pecs and veiny looking arms, not like a skinny, horrible looking way, but I always looked like I was in shape because I always did play sports and stuff like that. And what was my train of thought? Let me go back. Let me get my train of thought back.
In shape, you want to go back. And then on top of that, you're going to want to go ahead and tell all.
Okay, I remember it, right? But you see, and now I'm 175 right now, and I literally cannot I can't get back down. I don't want to get back down because I like this size that I'm at because I feel better, because I know that I look better to myself, and I know that I look better to everybody else. I know it's pretty impressive if people were to see me and they'd be like, dang, you gained weight, you look nice. No one will look at a fat person and say, oh my God, you look nice. They won't say that unless you're a girl who like a big, dude's body, whatever.
Fat asses that you were once friends with, you need to get in shape. This is awesome. But the reality is we live in this crazy world where we coddle fat people, we coddle idiots, we coddle morons, and we don't hold anybody accountable, and we allow mediocrity to strive in the West. And I think we need to go back to shaming fat people. We need to go back to making fun of them. I mean, if I was president, hell, I'd put all of them in a fat concentration camp so they can concentrate on dieting and exercising, because being fat is completely not acceptable. I'd have these people back in shape, because what people don't also understand is that fat people bring a big burden on the healthcare system. Obesity, diabetes, heart disease, etc. It's a big problem.
Do you really mean that, or are you just saying that?
I'm dead ass. Yeah, if I was president, make me president, I would get rid of the obesity problem like that. I find it interesting that they can lock us up in their homes for almost 2 years saying wear a mask, etc. But then I say, I'm gonna lock these dudes up in a concentration camp where we're gonna get them healthy food, we're gonna get them exercising, and I'm looked at as crazy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I guess there's a distinction between having opinions about how COVID was handled and genuinely believing that all fat people should be in a concentration camp.
Yes,
and
a concentration camp. Let me be clear. I'm talking about a concentration camp where they're concentrating on diet and exercise.
So I wouldn't necessarily want to go from one extreme to another. I also would not
This
want to
dude
be,
is okay with being fat.
spewing out stuff just to hopefully get a viral clip.
So if you could
You know-
snap your fingers and look like any of us, would you not do it? Like, would it
I
not be worth
probably
it?
choose to look like Tyler. I want to go to a place where it's comfortable and it's healthy all around. I'm not doing things that could negatively impact me in a way to get to a place like that. Like, I've gone through that. I've gone through having eating disorders, from chewing gum and drinking water and starving myself in different ways
That's
to
not
achieve
how you
something.
do it.
Like when I was
You
dancing,
calorie
my dance teacher
deficit.
blatantly told me, if you don't lose a certain amount of weight, I'm kicking you out of the showcase. So what did I do? I resorted to everything that I could possibly do to cut pounds like crazy. And it wasn't sustainable. It really screwed with me mentally, but I was doing it. And of course, like in the moment, it sort of felt good, but then I fainted in class one time. And that really, really sucked.
So I feel like you would switch sides if it meant doing it naturally. Like, he's obviously natural,
like,
he's natural.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously not.
I would switch sides if it meant that I could do it in a healthy way. And I mean, obviously, like I expressed it, I'm working on that. And I'm not saying that what you did was wrong. I really applaud the fact that you're saying to people like, hey, this was what my journey was, this is what it took, but I really don't advise that.
Okay, so here's the thing, man. Like, excellence and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to be an anomaly and you want to be the trendsetter, you want to be the top guy, you got to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. As far as like weight loss, 'cause you
what
said
they
I'm just
say
saying
in the
things to
military.
get a viral clip. How would you deal with the obesity
Be
problem?
be
Like I
comfortable
said,
with
pouring
being
life into
uncomfortable.
people.
That's
How
what
am I
everything.
dealing with it? I'm sharing what it's taking me.
Explain
I'm
what pouring
sharing-
life is. Like, what would that actually look like?
As someone who creates content online, I share what it is that I do in the gym. I share my routine. I talk about like, hey, today was a shit day, but guess what? I pushed past that and I just benched 405. That's more than I weigh. When I want to hang out with
He can
friends,
bench
if I know that
405?
my schedule does not allot me that time, but I know that I have this time during the gym, I'll tell my friends like, hey, pull up with me.
So you're inspiring others.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what if I told you at the camp everyone's exercising together and they're inspiring each other?
But
Same
you,
thing.
you
Same
approached it at such a negative way. Like you approached it from a place of shame and like
Us.
I think Fresh and Fit, he's
This
just a
isn't
tough
us.
dude. And he's trying
Is
to
it?
do things in a tough way. That's
Let's
how I
take a
try
break
to
from
do
our
my
devices for 5 days, 5
That's
hours,
how I
or
try
even
to
just
do my
5
son,
minutes.
my
Let's see what we
stepson.
find.
Hey, bud.
I try
US
to get him
Cellular,
like that.
built for us.
Not make him like a punk. Tell him things hard in a hard way. And my wife say, "You being so hard on him, you being." And when he grow up like a fucking, little ass punk, I'm gonna say that's his fault. What the hell is that?
most of us have blatantly told you that shame didn't really work. Shame is what led me to an eating disorder.
No, it
Shame
didn't.
is what led me to unsustainable weight loss.
Whose fault
when
is that,
what
though?
we're looking for is
Whose fault is that?
stability.
Whose fault is that you decided to go an
So-
unsustainable route with dieting? Whose fault is
So if I was given a
your
timeline
fault,
that I needed
big
to meet
dude.
and I'm trying to figure out without
that bench is
also having the
impressive.
tools to do so the proper way, and I'm just grasping at straws on how I do it, yeah, it's not sustainable.
that? Yeah, so whose fault is it that they chose an unsustainable route to lose weight? That's your fault.
It's
See, the
an
problem is that you're a
amalgamation.
professional victim. I don't know if you've caught on to this, but you're a professional victim. You constantly blame others for your inadequacies and why you're fat. The reason why you're fat.
I haven't blamed not one person for where I am.
Yeah, because you're always like, oh, but it's tough and all this other stuff. The reality is this, man.
Wait,
you eat too much.
I'm
and you don't
trying to
exercise
figure out
enough,
where these
and that's
misconceptions
why
about me are.
Again, you can say whatever you want to say.
I do want to press.
What- and here's the-
I just,
like I
want
said,
to
I
press.
called you
and
out
here-
on
here's
it,
the-
and I said,
here's the
it.
thing.
You're
Press pause.
And this
searching
is how
for
fat
a
people
viral
think.
clip.
If
You're
everyone
searching for a
has an
viral clip,
excuse for
and
why
I
they're
think
fat.
that it's really sad.
And they can't
I
take
think
accountability
it's
for why they're
really,
fat.
really sad.
We got to pause. Let's bring in our disagreeers. You guys were arguing so much, I forgot the prompt. What was the prompt again?
It was, I don't want to be on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Why did you keep
No, of course
fixing
I
his
would.
hair? if
I'm
he
a
barely
curious
had to?
person. I have been in much more traditional, like aesthetically pleasing shape in my past, but I've never gotten to like your guys' standards. And of course, I'm curious about anyone's life, like what it's like to walk through their shoes. So I don't see why I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I absolutely chose to, if I could, I'd switch. So when I was my lightest weight, which was 273, I wasn't anywhere near you guys, but I had muscles. I felt really good about myself. And
His
now
lightest
that I've
weight,
fallen back,
273?
I literally like almost hate life because I got somewhere, got really close, and it was out of reach. And now I'm falling back and I got to fight again. So if I could, I'd absolutely would switch.
What
and
makes
come
it
back.
hard to, like, I don't understand, like, you were 273 feeling great. How
Yeah.
did you get back? Like,
Exactly.
I'm
How?
curious.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
That's
no,
what I just said.
absolutely.
How does that happen?
So when I started my weight loss journey, I was very focused. Like I can't take any outside help. Like I got to do this on my own. I did all the research myself. So my problem was when I would hit plateaus, it hit hard because I'm like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Why not cutting weight? So
You gotta keep
eventually I hit
doing
enough
it.
plateaus to where like my mentality was just breaking down.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with the prompt just saying like, I probably wouldn't go extreme like on your side of the spectrum, so that kind of stuff, but I would like to look like Tyler.
Everyone wants to look like Tyler.
Tyler is the ideal for me of what I want to look like, but I mean, I wouldn't be that short too, but like,
I think, look, I'm just going to say it, the elephant in the room. Every fat person would want to be in shape. The problem is that they're not willing to do what's required to get in shape, hence why they are fat.
It's abundantly clear what you think. Like we've
a
got
lie.
it. We've
kudos
got
to
it.
you.
It's a lie.
The next prompt is,
They're trying to gang
your
up on him
physique
now.
is in your control. Can the agreeers please step forward?
So long story short, in 2018, I got to my heaviest weight, which was 441 pounds. And I was
Damn.
depressed as like I'm not gonna cuss, but
You can say it.
I was depressed as fuck, man. Like it was really hard. My weight had built like a cage around my mind. So even things that I knew were good for me,
441?
I couldn't even like go for it because my mentality was just so messed up. And it got to the point to where
understand why that
I had someone tell me,
271
dude,
is
you're
a
gonna
good.
die. And that hurt, you know? And I just flip things around. And I think one thing we haven't mentioned is accountability. I think that's the biggest thing. When I was growing up, my weight was always blamed on someone else. I was like, oh, it's my parents feeding me too much. And it's like, you can close your mouth. Like, I don't have to eat, you know? But when I finally made that change in my head, I realized that where you're at, given like the ideal circumstances, it is your choice. I am where I'm at now because I made a series of wrong choices and didn't handle myself correctly.
I mean, you deserve to be depressed if you're fat. I mean, the reality is that, see, depression is a very healthy response to inadequacy. When you're a man, you got to go out there and produce. We're not women where we can just coast on our looks and make it through life. As a man, you must produce
I gotta cut you
financially.
off, bro, because no one deserves to be like, people die from that shit,
hold on.
bro.
You might-
Like,
you-
no one
hold
deserves to
on.
be depressed.
Let me
He's
finish.
trying to push a
The reason why
narrative.
you feel
People die
depressed
from that. He ain't
and it's a
talking
healthy
about
response
that.
to you being fat is because it's your body telling you, like, wow, what are you doing? You need to fix this. You're sad because you're not going out there and accomplishing what you're supposed to do. It's your masculine duty to make money, to be successful, to lose weight, to be strong and fit so that you can protect and provide for the people that you love. And when you're not able to do that, you get depressed and you get sad, rightfully so, because you're a fuck up.
Have you
That is why.
experienced depression?
Well, I've always been, I've had times where I've been sad and stuff, but I always get over it.
So you shouldn't speak on it then. 'cause
And
that's
I
like
think
real
that's very
shit.
insensitive people to
Yeah,
people who actually
people
have
deserve
mental
to be-
health disabilities.
Depression most of the time is not real, no.
I agree.
Hey there, Instagram
It's
superstar.
not real.
I bet you
It's
experience the
not
frustration
real.
of trying to grow your
It
account.
is not
it's like pushing
real.
a boulder
You
uphill,
literally
isn't it?
just can't
You
walk
invest
around-
time and energy into crafting stunning content, but it's just not getting the recognition.
That's fucking wild. That's fucking wild.
It's
The
not.
earth is flat.
You see, he's saying that's wild, and they're all trying to agree to make him look like he's crazy. But I agree with that. You just can't be depressed. There's so many people who be like, "Oh my God, my sister died. I'm super depressed." Depressed about what? She ain't coming back. No disrespect, but she ain't coming back. So it's just, that's just it. It's no point in being depressed about nothing like that. But people just be trying to make an excuse to quit and give up, and that's where it hits. So I understand him. Maybe I need to watch him more,
A lot of the
but not just clips about him cussing out girls and
times
degrading
when
them.
people are depressed, it's because of their own inadequacies. You're messing up in
So if
something
you get
in your
raped,
life.
Is that an inadequacy?
He doesn't
'Cause people
mean in
get
all
depressed from that.
cases.
See,
I'm
No,
sure he
he's
doesn't
saying
mean-
it.
Exactly.
He's saying like in the
When
majority.
you say a
That's-
blanket
yeah.
statement,
There's
like
always
that,
going to be
right?
exceptions, but I'm speaking generally in this context of being fat and why you were depressed. It's because
That wasn't the only reason why I was depressed, but go on.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's a component. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
it was a big component,
It was
for
a
sure.
response to your
Yeah.
inadequacy as a man. And the thing is that we live in a meritocracy. I know everyone likes to run around and say, "Oh, well, everyone's equal and it's all equality for everyone." No, that's not how the world works. Why the fuck should I be treated equally to someone who's fat, broke, not disciplined, and not as intelligent? It's a competition. Life is a competition.
Where are you getting the notions that people are not disciplined?
You're fat.
Where is that coming from?
If you look at depressed guys, etc., look at their life 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to the gym, they're not making the money that they're supposed to be making, they're not where they need to be. Show me a guy that's making money, successful, has a good set of friends around him, has a network, etc., that is depressed. You would rarely find that. Are there exceptions to the rule?
So many-
Of course.
there are
There's always
so
there's
many
always
people
there's always
that
exceptions to
have
the
hit
rule.
the news that
There's
have
always exceptions to the
unalived
rule.
themselves because they were depressed.
There's
They were
always
making
exceptions
money,
to
they
the
were
rule.
fit.
But in general,
Understand that it's
when you
not
get
black and
depressed,
white.
when you get depressed, a lot of the times it's because you're a fuck up and it's your body's natural response to you being a fuck up.
Has anyone here ever felt like they didn't have control over their body or their physique?
There's times where I felt like I didn't have the control I wanted, but there was never a point where I'm like, this isn't within my ability to do.
Yeah, I think we all go through stages, especially mental
Yeah,
health.
you
like-
wish it was easier sometimes, but other than that, it's like, no, of course I'm in control of it. I know I am.
So I've started a fitness journey. I've been smaller, I've been bigger. I used to be a dancer. This really was what fueled me, hit a depression. I turned to food as, something to comfort me. And I realized that I was spiraling, right? Started working out again, kind of fell off of it. But this year I told myself it was my year of renaissance, right? That I was going to actively make the changes in all aspects of my life, including my health, including what my body looks like and what my body is capable of. And so I've been doing that. Now, did that mean that I was any less of a hard worker? No.
Yes.
I fucking worked 3 jobs.
You quit.
2
It
of them that
doesn't
I
matter.
love and 1 of them as a survival job to make sure that I'm able to continue doing what I love. So I go to the gym every single day after work. It doesn't matter what time I get off of work. It doesn't matter what things that I have going on after work, I go. But again, going back to assumptions, you looked at me and you made assumptions about laziness, about not caring about my health and things like that, when that's the complete opposite. I reached out, I got myself a trainer because I was like, I can't do this alone. And I told him straight up, these are the things that I want you to work on with me. I want to work on building mass, losing weight, but most importantly, consistency. And I feel like all of you guys can agree that that's what it is, right? Am I where I ideally want to be yet? No. But I also learned that I needed to love myself as I am right now and build those tools
he about to
so
cry?
that when I get to where I'm going, I can enjoy it that much more.
I think I might be a
because
lot
it's a
like this
labor
nigga
of
from Fresh and
love.
Fit. What's this nigga
Oh,
name,
Uber Eats
bro?
has groceries
What's his
now? I
boyfriend?
can't remember that.
You know, the best way to remember something is just forget something.
What'd you forget?
Hard to say.
I don't remember. Oh. Let's see.
I know what you forgot.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Myron Gaines. September 22nd. I'm October 19th.
It doesn't have to be.
I knew he was a Libra.
Some people who are overweight, are they going to the gym? Are they putting the fork down? Are they doing the things they need to do? If they spent 14 hours a week doing cardio and eating healthy, they would lose the weight. I spend 14 hours a week learning Spanish, even though I am horrible at it, but I'm trying my best. And if everyone else tried their best, we wouldn't see anyone morbidly obese on this planet.
I don't disagree with you at all, but I think you said it's like you're spending 14 hours doing Spanish. For me, you know, I still work out every
Make an
week.
excuse.
I still prioritize my health, but there are other things in my life that do
Eat
take
half
a higher
the calories, and you're going to be very skinny.
But that doesn't
Guaranteed.
matter to me. That's the whole
I'm
thing.
not saying you need to. I'm just saying no one should make excuses.
And that's why I think that's why we all sat down. I totally agree. It's within my, because I've gotten really svelte in my past, but I was at like my worst state mentally. Like didn't feel good. Wasn't prioritizing the things that meant something to me in my life. My career, my family, my daughter. Health is still super important to me. That's why I still work out, still lift, still do cardio, still hike, still bike, still do all those things. The amount of time I've had to spend in the past to get to that isn't worth it in my daily life. I'd rather spend that time, you know,
I would say
focusing on
also, would you agree, like looking at his physique, like he's at a perfectly, I would say, maybe healthy.
No.
You think?
He's definitely overweight, definitely obese.
I mean, if you count BMI,
I'm not trying to put you
no,
down,
no, no,
just
no.
being honest.
By a BMI standpoint,
But there's a
I'm
big difference
absolutely
between
obese.
this weight and if you gain 200 pounds. But if you gain 200 pounds, I'd be like, why are you doing this to yourself? You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't be happy gaining 200 pounds. That's kind of what I'm saying, is I kind of found kind of like a homeostasis where I'm happy and I feel healthy and I feel active and I feel like I can do what I need to do. All my numbers are in the right place. So I feel good. It's just, it hasn't been a priority for me to go further.
Yeah, you don't need to. It's all about balance for me. Halfway
What
there.
about you? I just want to hear
I
from
was
you.
gonna say I was in the same boat as him. I feel like myself, I feel comfortable with where I'm at right now. I've lost 100 pounds.
Congrats,
I
bro.
know, thanks. And I can keep going, that kind of stuff, but like doctor says, everything's fine with you. You are obese, but I will never forget the doctor told me you're healthy obese, which was like blew my mind.
Healthy for being obese.
Yeah, so I needed just one health condition to qualify under health insurance for a weight loss supplement for them. I didn't qualify. I had no high blood pressure, didn't have diabetes, didn't have anything else. So I was like, okay, well, I just want to lose weight because obviously as I get older, it's not going to be like that. But I mean, perfectly, I know I have the control to get where I'm at right now or where I want to be, but I'm pretty happy. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like what's sustainable is different for everyone, right? I think there's a way to weave in fitness in your life in a sustainable manner that might not encompass you losing a ton of weight. I think people kind of have different stages in life where they're focusing on different things, and I think that's something I can completely respect.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as long as you know that you have the agency to actually make that change,
yeah.
When the time comes, when you want to do it, like I don't see anything wrong with that.
I was very curious, out of show of hands, who here feels like after spending time in this space, you feel like you're closer to understanding the other side than when we stepped in the room?
Yeah. A little surprised. But.
I understand it less. Literally, like
We'll talk
Just
after.
we can't.
It'll
We
be
run the risk of it blowing open again. But this was a super interesting discussion. One of the more interesting episodes I've been a part of. So thank you all. Thanks for sharing your perspective. Absolutely. I think that's a wrap, right? Nice work, guys.
I guess talk to you over there.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, Eric.
Myron got the fuck up out of there.
Nice meeting you, Eric.
It's great meeting you, brother. Have a good one.
Bring it in.
Really good meeting you, brother. Talking to you. It was fun.
Did he get out of here? That was a good video. I like that. Damn, how long was this video? 25 minutes. That was a cool thing. I gotta call my mom back. Like, share, subscribe. Whoa! How the hell did I do that? Like, share, subscribe. How did I do that? Fireworks. I don't know. That shit was fucking crazy. I don't know if I really saw that or not.